And welcome back, rugby fans, to Rugby411. As always, I'm your host. My name is Joshua Shibata. And yes, rugby fans, it is that time. This is week 1 of the MLR 2025 season, season number 8. This is our preview show. And man, am I excited for this upcoming season. As you saw, I've had a lot of videos just started dropping, especially ones where I talk about this upcoming season. I want to thank again John from Morning Rugby, from Rugby Morning, sorry, of joining me. And man, we could talk all day long about rugby, especially with Major League Rugby. So we are super excited. If you haven't checked out the video, check that out to see our way too early rankings on who we feel will make the playoffs as well as possibly make the MLR championship. But we are in now week number 1. We have 5 games slated today that week. I'm sorry, 5 games slated of the week, 4 games on Saturday, 1 game on Sunday. It is already going to be super exciting. We have some good games coming up, and so I am very, very eager to get our preview of this, as well as I'll tell you my thoughts on who I feel would win, because obviously we have our pick 'em pool again, which of course I will be talking about later on at the end of the video. But without further ado, let's go over our first slate of games. Again, as I mentioned before, we have 4 games kicking off on opening day of MLR 2025 season, Saturday, February 15th. None of the games are starting at the same time. Unfortunately, they're only 1 hour apart, so technically it's a full day of rugby, but nobody is really going to be able to watch all the games in their entirety all on one day. You're going to have to kind of jump from game to game if you want to, or pick the game that you want. Again, don't forget, MLR just announced they will be showing every game in the season, as well as the playoffs and the championship game, live on ESPN+. The playoff and the championship games will be on ESPN2. Certain games of the season will be on ESPN2 as well. They'll announce that later on in the season. Don't fret, though. If you miss the games, like I'm going to be working, so obviously I'll be missing some of the games as well. They will have the replays on ESPN Plus, and then 72 hours later, they will be on replay on the Rugby Network, absolutely free. Again, I know that ESPN Plus is a pay site. Don't fret. Like I said, 72 hours later after their first showing, they will be available on the Rugby Network, absolutely free. Again, if you haven't signed up for the Rugby Network, don't throw your subscription away. Still sign up, because again, if you aren't able to watch the games live on ESPN Plus, you can watch them 72 hours later and throughout the whole entire season on the Rugby Network, because from what I understand, they're not going to be staying on the ESPN Plus platform throughout the season. They will be cycled out, so they'll be available on the Rugby Network. So again, a great deal if you haven't already signed up for the Rugby Network. Absolutely free. Watch every game on the MLR 2025 season. So again, let's start. First game of the season, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time kickoff. Old Glory DC goes over to the Miami Sharks, where they're going to be playing at, now it's called the Baptist Health Community Field. This is actually the training field that's located at what is now being called the Miami Freedom Park. It is still where the Inter Miami CF soccer team plays. It's still where the Miami Sharks play. Just now a new name, Freedom Park. And they will be playing at the training field now called the Baptist Health Community Field. 1,500 seats available there. So still a very nice, intimate stadium. Surprisingly, last season, Miami, with their very first year in the league, they traded off victories. Old Glory and Miami are 1-for-1 last season. Both of those wins were done by the team that is at home. And it's gonna upset John from Morning Rugby, but Rugby Morning, but he knows exactly who I feel is going to win this game. The winners have always been the one at home, and I feel that trend will not change with this game. The Miami Sharks will walk away with the win. I don't think it's going to be a big margin. I think it's only going to be by 7 points, but a win for the Sharks to kick off the 2025 season. 1 hour later, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we go over to NOLA at the Gold Mine, where another team that just debuted last season, Anthem Rugby Carolina takes on the NOLA Gold. Last season, Anthem Rugby Carolina obviously didn't win any games. NOLA and them played off against each other twice. NOLA won both of those games, one of them by a total of 40 points to 5. As you know, Anthem RC has improved quite a bit, I feel, with their roster. I predict that they will win. They went winless last season. They'll at least win 4, maybe 5 games. I was pretty good with my prediction last time when we were talking about the Dallas Jackals and how many games they were going to win. I feel very confident that Anthem will reach the limit of 4 to 5 games this season, but I don't feel this is going to be one of them. I feel NOLA still is going to be a top contender in that Eastern Conference. They'll walk away with the victory. Again, I think this game will still be close. I think it's only going to be a 7-point difference. I doubt it's going to be a blowout of 40 to 5. If it is that kind of blowout, not a good start for a team that I feel should be more competitive in Anthem RC. Then we go to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, a really nice game here. Chicago Hounds take on the number 1, the best record team, the team with the best record finished last season, the Houston SaberCats at the SaberCats Stadium. Surprisingly, Chicago has never beaten Houston. Houston has beaten Chicago in all 3 of their the matchups, including last year, though. It was a very close game where Houston barely squeaked by 23 to 22. And remember, Houston was the team with the best overall record at the end of the season. They were hot last season. Chicago just came within 1 point. I feel this will be the game where Chicago gets their very first win against the Houston SaberCats, walking away out of SaberCats Stadium with a victory by about 7 points, but again, a huge victory for Chicago, a great way to start the 2025 season. And now let's finish off the last game on Saturday. The evening finishes with a great showdown, West versus Eastern Conference players in LA, as the New England Free Jacks, your reigning defending two-time MLR champions, take on another team that debuted last season, RFCLA, at the Wallace Annenberg Stadium on the campus of UCLA. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time kickoff. Again, as you know, big fan of RFCLA. I'll be at the game working as your PA announcer. As much as I've talked about how much RFCLA has improved, again, New England, I still feel, if you watch my videos on my way too early power rankings of the teams, New England is still the team to beat. I predict that they'll make their way back to the MLR championship game. I feel that they have a good shot of maybe walking away as the first ever three-time MLR champions. And this is going to be a game where they walk away with another victory. Though, the last time that New England and RFCLA played against each other, New England kind of walked all over RFCLA, winning by a pretty substantial amount. I don't feel that the game will be that much of a blowout this time. I feel RFCLA will keep it close. I'm predicting they'll only lose by 10. If RFCLA can keep it close, then I feel really confident in the season. If RFCLA gets blown away by New England, especially if we see a lot of disciplinary issues, then obviously RFCLA is going to have a long year number 2 for them. But I feel this game will be very competitive, be a lot of fun. Again, if you're in the LA area, stop on by. I hope that for those of you who don't know, there's been a lot of rain lately here in LA. It's Wednesday when we're filming this. Tomorrow, Thursday, it's supposed to be one of the biggest storms that will hit LA. Supposed to clear up by Friday. We'll see. We play Saturday. It might be a really wet pitch. If you're going to go to the game, I would highly advise to maybe bring some cushions or some towels just to make sure you can wipe off the bench seats and everything. But hopefully it's not too much of a slosh of a pitch. Otherwise, I feel that will favor New England a little bit more than LA. But again, it'll be a great game. If you're in the LA area, come on out. Season opener should be a lot of fun. And hey, yours truly, going to be on your PA announcer as well. And then finally, we go to our final game, Sunday, February 16th. It is easily the game of the week. the biggest rivalry in MLR, Seattle Seawolves take on the San Diego Legion in San Diego's old home stadium of Torrio Stadium in San Diego. It's where San Diego started their franchise history with Major League Rugby down in San Diego. This is, as I mentioned before, the biggest rivalry in Major League Rugby. This will be the 18th time these two franchises have played off against each other. Seattle has the advantage, but it's a close one. 9 wins to Legion's 8 wins. 12 of those 17 wins have been decided by the team that is hosting the other team. So home field advantage, home pitch advantage is very much a big thing here. 12 of the 17 games, the winner is the one who's hosting the game. In the last 5, though, San Diego kind of favored. They won the last 3 out of the 5. And all of them, though, have been at home. So, with that being said, I'm feeling, especially with how much Seattle has improved, even though Seattle is one of the top teams, they made it to the Major League Championship game, just got knocked down by New England. I feel Seattle has done a huge improvement in the offseason. Granted, they do lose Mac Mason, which is a big blow, but I feel San Diego has lost a lot as well. No Makito, no Nanu. They've lost a lot of players. Peterson is no longer there. Danny Christensen is no longer there. I think Seattle, though, has improved a lot more. It's going to be a very, very close game, but I have Seattle with the win to open up their 2025 campaign over their bitter rivals in San Diego. But I feel this will be the closest game. I have Seattle only winning by 3 in this game. It will be definitely the game to watch and the game of the week. So that is our preview. Very simple, very easy. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget, I forgot to mention, Utah is on a bye because we have odd teams this year. Utah won't start until week 2. But again, a lot of action in this week. I'm so excited. Again, you can watch every game live on ESPN Plus. The replays will be available on ESPN Plus as well. If you don't want to pay for ESPN Plus, and I don't blame you, all the games will be available on the Rugby Network 72 hours after they air on ESPN Plus. And again, don't forget, if you want to, join our SuperBru League, my SuperBru Rugby411 Pick Em pool. I'll have instructions on how to join in the description of the video. I want to thank all 19 other players that have come into the league, including myself, makes us 20. So great turnout. Again, if you guys want to, like I said, the winner, as usual, for the regular season will win an MLR t-shirt of the team of their choice. But if you want to, there can be some money involved for the winner as well. Absolutely voluntary, $20 buy-in. Half of the proceeds will go to the winner. The other half will be donated to the Red Cross, especially towards the first responders that did their best to really help out a lot of people with the fires that just tore up Southern California last month, which unfortunately many, many people are still feeling the effects today. So again, we're going to be donating to the Red Cross half of the buy-in. The other half goes to the winner. Right now, I'm the only one that's donated, so $20, $10 for the winner for sure. But again, completely voluntary. You don't have to do it. And hey, even if you don't donate, you could still win the money if you're the number one, if you have the best record at the end of the regular season. Our reigning defending champion, JZS, Sale 88, has returned, so he will be defending his title. John from Rugby Morning will also take part of our pool, so that will be fun to see how our decisions and our picks face off against each other. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, I'm super excited. This is week 1. Very glad, as always, to have you joining me on this journey. Stick around. I'm always going to have these preview videos. Of course, we'll have results videos as at the end of the week, previewing next week's. And of course, I'll have my power rankings. And as always, I'll have results from our SuperBru Pick Em pools. So again, thank you very much for joining me for... Good Lord, now I can't remember. I believe this is year number 6 for me of covering the league, year number 8 of the league. And again, thank you very much for joining the video. Thank you very much for joining me on these videos. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you on the pitch.